Friday, March the 4th edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Meteorologist Matthew East here with you. We did see a little snow in some spots last night. I'll show you kind of what happened with that system. You never really got the deeper moisture up into the area that was supportive of snow in some instances in North Carolina. Now, that was not the case elsewhere in the southeast. And we'll take a look at the weekend and the pattern for next week, too. All right, there's a look at the Charlotte tower camera yesterday beginning at 11 a.m. Had some high clouds overhead at that point in time, and as I put that into motion, we got deeper into the day, and the clouds kind of thickened, and eventually we began to see precipitation fall from those clouds by late in the day yesterday. And in some spots in the southeast, that precipitation was in the form of snow. I'll step you through the radar here in just a moment. There's your temperatures during the 5 o'clock hour this morning. It's chilly. Most folks above freezing, exceptions being some spots in the mountains, the northern foothills, and immediate Virginia border areas. There's the radar over the past couple of hours. Raining in the eastern parts of North Carolina still as I get the video. Some snow. Parts of northeastern Virginia up through Maryland and Delaware and New Jersey. And that system is departing. Now, this was the radar from 5 o'clock in the evening through the night. And again, you notice you just didn't get a lot of that heavier precipitation up into the spots where the temperature was cold enough for snow in much of North Carolina. Now, you look at all the snow reports across the region, and that's where there was either snow seen or even some snow on the ground. The big winners in the southeast, really, northeast Georgia. A lot of 1 to 2, even some 3-inch snow totals there in northeastern parts of Georgia as we went through late yesterday and into the evening hours. That was the radar down that way. Westernmost parts of South Carolina getting into that activity as well. Further to the northeast, though, you had some dustings of snow, some 2 3/10 of an inch snow accumulation reports there in parts of Wilkes and Surrey counties, some dustings elsewhere, but just not a huge deal in terms of snow across the majority of North Carolina. Now that system is departing. There it goes out to sea. High pressure building in the wake of it. And it's going to be a pretty quiet day. North wind, not a huge factor today. Your high temperatures on this Friday shape up like that across the region, and then a relatively chilly Friday night into Saturday morning on the way. Now, the weekend, pretty quiet. This next system zips in here from the northwest, and I think mainly tomorrow evening there'll be a quick hitting shower chance with that. Maybe as early as late in the afternoon in a couple spots in North Carolina, but I think for most of us it'll be in the evening tomorrow. And there's your Saturday highs. That system is gone with a good deal of sunshine back with us for Sunday. Still relatively cool. There's your Sunday high temperatures across the region. Watch what happens with the upper level pattern as we get into next week. A big ridge over the eastern part of the country. Also notice this big trough, this big upper level low back here in the central parts of the country down into Old Mexico. I'll show you the detailed charts on this here in just a second. But look at the warmer pattern. These 5,000 foot temperatures really warming as we get into next week. And that much warmer pattern begins to take hold here across the region. Now, let me show you a couple of the more detailed charts here. We'll start off with the weekend little system I showed you that might bring some quick-hitting showers Saturday evening. There it is on the European model. So, yeah, that's the system that could bring a few brief showers, mainly Saturday evening and Saturday night. All right, let's go out into the future. We'll stick with the European model. There's your 500 millibar chart for Thursday evening. I know this is kind of far south, but down in Old Mexico, you have a cutoff upper level low that's gotten separated from the main trough swinging through. And so that is a very slow-moving system. This is now out to Saturday morning of next week, the 12th of March. There's your closed upper air low over East Texas and Louisiana. And then all the way out to the end of the European model run, it's finally, this is actually another kicker piece of energy diving in behind it there around Sunday evening, the 13th. A kind of similar scenario on the overnight run of the GFS model. There we are Friday evening, cutoff low, pretty intense over eastern Texas. That then as you get on out into Sunday, that piece of energy is swung through the Carolinas, and here comes yet another one diving down on the backside. And so in terms of what that looks like, I'll show you the GFS representation of this, and this is going to be a lot of rain and probably some eventual severe weather over parts of the country as we get deeper into next week. So this is Tuesday evening. Surface low way down over the Red River Valley. A lot of rain fanning out to the northeast of that. Let's go 24 hours later, and you're going to notice a very similar setup with the shield of rain. Broad low over southeast Texas. That's Wednesday evening of next week. Thursday evening of next week, there's a low centered over eastern Texas, still raining in many of those same spots. You get out into Friday evening, and again, you have a Low pressure still sitting over eastern Texas, still some rain, maybe some severe weather on the eastern side of this with time next week, and then finally that system kind of lifts up into the Carolinas by next weekend. Now, some differences with the modeling overall by Friday and Saturday. This is the GFS, and it has a wedging signature by Friday, so it's a much cooler scenario than what you have on the European model. I've leaned in the direction of the warmer modeling right now, so I have highs way up into the 70s for really the second half of next week, especially by Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And if that wedge scenario occurs, that'd be a different scenario in the foothills and the northwest Piedmont. But for the time being, I'm going to go with that warmer overall scenario. Now, I mentioned the rain. Look at this. This is the cumulative rain amounts ending next Saturday. So over the next week or so, look at these rain totals with that slow-moving system and just a snapshot of some of the rain totals off the GFS. So you're looking at some 1 foot plus rain amounts in eastern Arkansas and western Tennessee. If that were to verify. So that's a lot of rain, and again, probably eventually some severe weather issues beginning to creep on in as we get a little bit deeper in time as well. All right, that is it for today's edition of the video. Everybody have a great weekend, and God bless.